Thanks, Lydia. It's Rob Humphrey, welcoming our virtual audience and, of course, our wonderful live audience. I'm with the marketing team at LinkedIn, and I'm so happy to see all of you here. We're going to have an awesome time. I'm joined by Faith Rothberg with College Recruiter, and this is the second annual boot camp, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Well, in true LinkedIn fashion, we must start by identifying the key masterminds in this audience. And what I mean by that is specifically the person who's first and foremost the earliest adopter of the physical audience here. And that person, the earliest adopter, the first one to create a profile in this audience is Mark. Mark, you here? Congratulations,
there's Mark.
Sir.
Awesome.
And those are some impressive stats, sir, I might say. The most connected, the person with the most first-degree connections here today is Ms. Kate Sargent. Good to meet you.
Nice job, Kate.
The most popular person. Obviously, we know who that is, okay? The most popular person, that means the person whose profile was viewed the most in the last 30 days, and that is Miss Paige White. Congratulations,
right.
Paige. Again, just like in high school and college, here at LinkedIn, you are the most popular. Congratulations. The most endorsed, the person with the most total endorsements. That's Jennifer.
Woo.
Are you here? Wonderful. Congratulations. So I'll hand it over to you, Faith.
Great. Thanks, Rob. I just wanted to thank Rob and Leela Sharinovan for co-hosting this great event and providing this awesome space in Mountain View, California, in the headquarters at LinkedIn. I also wanted to thank the LinkedIn team, Jack Lau, the event coordinator, and that AV team over there for doing a great job getting us all set up. I also would like to thank the members of the College Recruiter team that are here today, Stephen Rothberg, the president and founder of College Recruiter, and Josh Rock and Jimmy McCourt that you probably met outside at the check-in tables. They are our national account managers. And I am Faith Rothberg. I'm CEO of College Recruiter, and College Recruiter is a niche job board that connects employers to graduates and students. We have a great lineup of speakers today and awesome topics to cover. I want to welcome everybody from the audience here and the live stream. Like Rob said, over 3,000 people have registered for the live stream, so welcome everybody. And I want to give everybody a challenge to ask great questions and engage today. I love this pod setup. It's a great setup for interchange, and we have some networking this afternoon in between the discussion groups, and I hope you'll take that time to share great ideas and ask great questions. I want to challenge everybody to leave here today with 3 actionable items. We always say when we go to a conference, if we can go back to our office with 3 actionable items that we can share with the group, it's a very valuable and great day. So that's what I challenge you guys to do. I just wanted to talk about the 3 items that are on your table. There's the MPACE conference, which is the Mountain Pacific Colleges and Employers Conference, and that is in December in San Francisco. And if you have any questions about that, you can ask Greg Cleffish over there from Southern Wines, and he's involved in that conference. There's also the NACE conference, the National Association of Colleges and Employers. That's a 3-day conference down in San Antonio in June. It's an awesome place to hear great speakers, meet a lot of the vendors in the industry, and also career service office directors. So I encourage you to go to that. We're going to that, and I'd love to see you there. And then the third thing is just to acknowledge the agenda on the tables in front of you. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Stephen to introduce our first presenter. Thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, welcome. This is great. We have over 100 people in the room, like Faith said, and don't tell any of the people who are doing the presentations later, but we have over 3,000 people signed up for the live stream. I know you already heard that, but over 3,000 people are signed up for the live stream. How many was it again? Over 3? Yeah, okay. My job today is kind of one of the things that Mussolini was most proud of, keeping the trains running on time. So if you see me being rude to any of the presenters, it is their fault, and you can thank me, because that way you will get to your planes, trains, and automobiles on time later today. The agenda is going to kick off. Where is Tay? Tay Scott. There she is. Tay is going to do the first presentation. The morning presentations are going to be 20-minute. If you've ever seen like a TEDx or TED Talk presentation, each presenter gets 20 minutes, so they dive really deeply on one very specific item. This is really hard. When you go to most conferences, you get 60 to 75 minutes. You can go off onto tangents. You can talk about your kids. You can talk about there being more than 3,000 people registered for the live stream and waste time like that. But Tay's job and the other people this morning is to dive in deeply and tightly into one specific topic, so it'll be fun. Tay is in charge of LinkedIn's global campus recruiting efforts. In just a few years, they've basically come from nothing to hundreds. I'm not going to steal her thunder too much. She has over 10 years of experience leading staffing teams. And when I went to your LinkedIn profile, I saw that you were at AOL before. Yes, so she is an industry veteran. And more recently, I think, Citrix too, right? Tay is officed out of this location in Mountain View, so I think she's somewhat familiar with this space. So Tay, take it away. Thank you.
All right, everyone. So we have a clicker? Yes. Let's see if this thing works. No? Power? Sorry, guys. No. Which one? Okay. All right, so we'll have technical advancements here. Okay, so thanks to everyone. So sorry about the technical glitches here. How many of you were here last year? Some repeat offenders. I like that. Nice. So I am here today to talk about a bit about our LinkedIn. Does it work now? Our LinkedIn internship program, and over the space of a couple of years, we've brought it to several hundred, and we have a full-fledged program now. So when you think about, so I wanted to start out a little bit provocatively and throw out the question, how old will you be in the year 2030? Any takers? I obviously will not be sharing how old I will be in the year 2030, but my point is, will any of us be working for millennials in the year 2030? Anybody who realizes that millennials are here to stay, if you don't realize that, you've probably been living under a rock. They are here to stay, and how do we then bring them into our fold? PwC just released a recent survey where they're projecting up to 80% of our workforce will have been millennials by the year 2030. So that brings me to then, how do we as professionals build scale into our programs and hire as many as possible and give as much as we get? Because literally, if we have to work for millennials in the future, wouldn't it be great if they were fully ramped, they had great experiences, we brought them in, we ramped them up, and we're building the future talent bench for all of our companies. So basically, that is the philosophy at LinkedIn, is that we were building this talent pipeline, and our philosophy is that we create a great experience. Now, anybody that knows anything about LinkedIn knows that LinkedIn has been in hypergrowth for the last few years. When we started our intern program, we were at about 100 million members and about 1,000 employees back in 2010. Now today we are at 300 million members and almost 6,000 employees. So our intern program had to scale with the company. And anytime you do that, anybody knows that keeping the integrity of a culture alive through hypergrowth can be very challenging. One of the things that we've done here is really literally use our intern program to keep the integrity of the culture alive. And I'm going to walk a little bit through that, that process. And our co-founder, Reid Hoffman, he, in his book, The Startup of You, he coined the phrase of constant beta. And constant beta just literally means that you, the person, the company, are constantly iterating, changing, growing, and changing things up. And nothing could be truer than our intern program. As the company scaled, we also had to scale our program as well. So a little bit about company culture. The company culture to us is vitally important to keep the integrity of it alive and well. I think we've done an astounding job of it. I've been here ever since actually late 2010, and I have seen just massively, it's just an incredible culture. So when we look at the intern program, you know, if we offer a very poor intern program, a poor experience, we believe that our employment brand suffers. The engagement of employees when they turn into new college grads or even employees, disengaged interns are a major time suck for the company, right? It just really doesn't make that much sense. Now, if we have a poor experience, bad reviews live forever on social media. So there's nowhere to hide, right? So it's basically, you know, not the best idea to offer a poor experience. Now, on the flip side of that, if we offer an experience that is inauthentic to our actual employee experience, the opposite effect could happen. So it's an inaccurate depiction of our company culture, low employee retention and resentment. Basically, if we offer this intern experience that is like totally amazing and just outstanding, and then they get to the company and it's totally not like the experience you have as an employee, it's not sustainable. It's not something that they'll be intrigued about or talk about for the future. So rather than doing that, we believe that we offer an employee or an intern experience that is directly correlated to our employee experience and our culture. We believe that by doing this, we have a stronger employment brand, a stronger talent bench, and inspired employees and increased retention. Basically, you can build the pillars of your intern program through this process. So now what you're seeing is a picture of Doris Tong. Doris works for me. The reason I wanted to highlight Doris today is because we call her the intern whisperer. Anybody an intern whisperer in the audience? Yes. So Doris is the original intern whisperer. I'm only at this, currently running this team because of Doris. She actually recruited me. So I wanted to highlight a couple of things that Doris has done phenomenally well. She is the originator of our intern program. She is the one who originally said, hey, this is the best way to build scale into our company and actually build hiring scale, build from the ground up. She's done some things amazingly well, like a high-touch personalized experience. She believed wholeheartedly from day one and encouraged everybody else in the company that interns are not coffee getters. They're not, you know, dry cleaning, runner, errand people. They are full-fledged members of the team from day one. They have really robust projects and make an impact as soon as they get here. Now, anybody that knows anything about NPS scoring also knows that an NPS score of 76 is doing phenomenally well. As the company has grown and scaled, she has been able to deliver an outstanding experience from an intern's point of view and achieve an incredible NPS score. And I attribute that to Doris's laser focus on keeping the integrity of the intern program first and foremost in her mind. We are truly now a global organization. So a little bit about our timeline of growth. 2010, we were regional, local. 2012 saw us go nationwide. And now we have interns around the globe. And what this means is basically, as the company grows, our program grows and our scale grows, right? So we literally now have interns in every geographic area, India, Singapore, EMEA, Canada, North America. And a couple of stats here is basically our engineering numbers have gone up significantly. So when I talk about building the pipeline, now in 2013 we experienced from 68% to 81% of intern conversion eligible people getting offers. So that's a significant step in the right direction of building this as the funnel of NCG talent. In engineering operations, we've actually almost doubled that number. So about 82% of all people who are conversion eligible actually receive an offer. And what that tells me is that we actually select really high caliber interns from the gate, right? So the vetting process and everything that we do to secure interns nets us really, really top talent. So with that being said, talking about top talent, I wanted to highlight a few stories of some people who started their journeys here as interns and who are now massively impacting the company. So I wanted to talk about Anant. Anant we met at USC. He was finishing his undergrad degree, and he was transitioning over to CMU to complete his master's degree. Doris met him on campus, and they formed a relationship and kept in contact through like in-mailing and talent pipeline. So they kept in contact. She convinced him to become an intern while he was in his master's degree program. So when we were talking to Anant about this presentation today, getting his permission that we could use his picture and, you know, crossing all our T's and dotting the I's, we wanted to know more about his story, and he told us literally the reason why he chose LinkedIn over all of his other offers. I mean, USC, CMU, this is a top engineering candidate. He had many different offers. He chose us because when he was an intern, his code was being pushed, his personal code was being pushed to millions and millions of members. That sort of impact from an intern's perspective kind of just built his momentum. And he had this amazing experience here. He had relationships here. And so it was a natural evolution for him to join full-time afterwards. So fast forward to today, and Anant has gone from software engineer to senior software engineer to engineering manager. And he is now an engineering manager, leading a team of about 12 other engineers, bringing in interns and new college grads himself, and making significant impact over our engineering roadmap. So to me, that's like the perfect example of somebody making huge career trajectory moves. The next person I wanted to highlight is Jessica. Now, Jessica, I wanted to highlight her story because she comes from a different angle, and I wanted to stress the fact that interns can come from anywhere, and this truly just shows the power of networking and relationship building. Relationships really matter. Jessica started with us as a front desk receptionist, and she was enrolled as a design undergrad at San Jose State University. So through her networking and relationship building, she formed a relationship with our VP of user design and some members of his team. She also met Doris, the intern whisperer, who told her a little bit about the program and what we were trying to do. So Jessica actually joined us as our very first user design intern a couple of years ago, and now that intern program for design is exponentially bigger. So basically, fast forward to today, and Jessica is a full-fledged designer on the design team, and she's basically working on really high-profile projects that affect her career the rest of her life. So that's a great story. Finally, I wanted to highlight Ryan Siemens. So Ryan, we met at BYU. We had not been to BYU before. We were looking for HR MBA interns. And when we were talking to Ryan about this presentation, getting the details of his story down, he basically told us that there was a couple of things that differentiated his experience with us, which is why he chose us. He had lots of opportunity as well. Top MBA candidate, he had lots of opportunity. So basically, Ryan said that the personalized approach, the fact that he wasn't talking to automated machines, that he had access to real people, that he came through our invitational process, and our invitationals are basically, we fly out top students and we expose them to a day of not only interviews, obviously interviews and vetting, but cultural immersion days, right? They get access to new college grads, former interns, executives. Jeff, our CEO, actually comes to these invitationals quite regularly. He's very passionate about talking to this audience. I can't really see other CEOs talking to interns, but wow, when Jeff walks into a room, jaws drop, right? So it's just an amazing experience, cultural immersion for these interns and undergrads. So Ryan told us that those experiences truly differentiated his opinion of us, and which is why he chose us as an intern. Fast forward to when he joined us as a new college, or after he graduated and became an employee. His manager was looking for a technical person on her team. He joined the L&D team. He had a technical background. He raised his hand. Never in a million years did he think he'd become a product manager. He has now deployed a global learning platform that has fundamentally changed the way that LinkedIn ramps, trains, and onboards our employees. Like, that is major impact, right? So these are just a couple of stories. I have droves and droves of other stories, but I wanted to highlight a few of these stories because I think it truly maps to what I'm talking about with staying true to, in the intern program, to what the employee experience is going to be, and then creating these massive career trajectories for the future of our companies. So with that, I wanted to also talk about, so any good intern program also has some fun aspects built as well. Our events calendar is split up between, like, PhDs and MBAs may have a different event calendar than undergrad interns, but one of our highest rated events was the San Francisco Bay Cruise, where all interns came together. I heard rumors that there was a dance-off. I can't be certain, but I heard there was a couple of different dance-offs and that it was a really, really fun event. So who knew? San Francisco Bay Cruise, they loved it, had so much fun. Sushi Day, sushi making classes, a very popular event. Bocce ball for MBA interns, and they also get exposure to, like, Napa and wine tasting and things like that. So we believe that the work hard, play hard, definitely expose people to clear training and ramping and onboarding and just all of those good things, but also a good amount of fun as well. So with that, last year I was talking about transforming ourselves, our company, and the world. And we truly believe that through this program, we are continuing to do that. You saw a couple of stories of people that I believe are going to majorly transform our company, and they've already transformed themselves, and hopefully the world at some point. And I just wanted to throw out there that I would just highly encourage everybody to take a look in the mirror. Even if your program, if you don't have the budget, the same budget that we have, or the resources, or you didn't develop your intern program through the lens of your employee experience or your culture, I would definitely say that it's a great place to start to look, right? Take stock of it, evaluate it, and then make some changes. For instance, you can, if you're looking for more collaboration among teams, who better than to start with interns, right? They're eager to help and help the company in that respect. And also, we run hackathons. Some of the most highly coveted prizes in hackathons come at no charge, right? Like a lunch with a founder or a VC investor or something like that comes at very little cost. Finally, some of your most inspirational speakers come from your own employees and your executives. Again, no cost, very little investment, just getting on their calendars. So as we, LinkedIn, move into our fourth iteration, again, constantly in beta, our fourth iteration of our global campus, our intern program, we're just looking forward to more career trajectories, more impactful stories in the future, and then just building the talent bench for the company in general. So that's it for me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Tay? Yes, ma'am. So the question was, how big is your organization, the number of people who are reporting to Tay, and what are their roles?
The structure of our program, basically I have about a team of about 40 people and several managers that work for me. And like I said, we're a global operation, so many of those teams actually support global operations in EMEA and APAC. We have a full recruiting team, we have a full events team, and we have operations and university relations as well.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the aspects of the personalized touch that you guys provide that have made you so successful?
So the question is, what are some of the aspects of the personalized touch that is touches that have made LinkedIn so successful?
Yeah, so actually I forgot to mention, Doris actually implemented an InTouch program, and the InTouch program basically puts in former interns who have turned into intern conversions. They're going back to school. She implemented this program a couple of years ago, and it's built out throughout the year with touch points, basically, of gifts, newsletters, just basically keeping us top of mind with that person. She's taken that, number of people who back out of her offers from 10% a couple of years ago to now less than 2% using this high touch philosophy. And then there's a bunch of other things, like the invitational is very personalized. They all come in, they get individual badges. Another thing that Doris does, and I honestly, I don't know how she does this. It's weird. Not weird, but scary. She actually takes the night before, when the interns are starting during orientation, she memorizes their profile pictures and their names. And so when they're filing in, she can greet them by name. Now, it may seem insignificant, but people actually remember when you remember their name. Simple, but...
And it's not 5 people that
No.
she's remembering.
No, it's
right?
a lot. It's a lot of people.
So it's
Yeah,
hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we call her the intern whisperer.
There's a question. Josh, you have a mic.
Thank you. I have a question about how you keep your program unified while going global and making sure that everyone is having the same experience, regardless of if they're here in headquarters or over in EMEA or Singapore. What have you done to make sure that everyone is unified and feels like it's part of the same program?
Do you need to repeat that?
No,
Okay.
okay,
cool.
I was repeating the questions because the people here could hear it without the microphones, but the people who are watching from the live stream needed the mics, so we're good now.
Yeah, the global aspect, that's an interesting one. It's constantly in beta. But basically what we do is we consider ourselves in North America the center of excellence, and we drive all things branding, the look and feel of the program, the experience, the infrastructure, almost like recruiting in a box and being able to localize it for each of the geographies. Another thing is that we drive global roundtables with stakeholders, and we talk about what are the differences in the different geographies. And then we find people in each geography to act as our champion, to act as our advocate. Because obviously we don't have a huge team everywhere in every office, but we'll find one person that's super passionate about they want to go to all LinkedIn or all intern events. And that person then becomes our messaging machine.
Okay, I think we have time for a couple more. Sorry. Yes.
I had a quick question about Inauth. You mentioned the differentiation between LinkedIn and the other companies he had a choice between. You talked about code. Mm-hmm. What did you mean by that? I didn't understand that.
His software engineering code. So as a engineer, he was affecting millions of members with his own personal work.
And then Josh, there was somebody right back there.
Can you talk a little bit about how you work with the business on arriving at your college hiring projections?
Yeah, so that's another good question. I could talk all day about that. I'm sure all of you have massive experience with this as well, like the stop and start. Can we align headcount a year in advance? But basically, we're undergoing this massive planning cycle right now. We hit our targets extraordinarily early this year, which allowed us to actually free up some time to do strategic planning. So basically, we go on a roadshow. We talk to all of the execs and all of the teams about what happened last year, what were the insights, talk about some of the things that we have access to on our LinkedIn recruiter tool regarding, student engagement on our site, at which schools, what schools do we need to invest in, all of that good stuff. So we wrap up the year, and then we go and we get guidance on the following year. And that's basically the best that we can do, is get the guidance right now and then start to formulate with finance, okay, is this actually going to work for next year? And what we're finding is that the assumptions that we're making, as long as we're in lockstep with finance, the projections of the headcount year over year, and the business unit leaders, we're finding that our assumptions are coming in really very closely on target.
Cool. And last question, sir.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. You had mentioned earlier that some of the interns, actually majority of the interns, convert full-time. And so what I was curious to know is, after the internship program, is there some sort of culmination celebratory event, and is that consistent globally?
Okay, so let me understand your question. So if they are converting, did they celebrate?
So for interns who receive full-time offers, is there some sort of culmination celebratory event to celebrate that full-time offer, and how is that structured across the world?
Yeah, we actually built in a series of branding, if you will. So when you get an offer at LinkedIn, you get a t-shirt that says I'm in. But if you're interviewing, you get a t-shirt that says I want in. So all of our people that have received offers get the I'm in t-shirts. And it's so funny because some of these things that go viral, they'll get their t-shirt and they'll post it on Facebook or LinkedIn about, just getting the offer and that kind of thing. So it is globally consistent that way. I want in, get in, and then I'm in.
And it's the playing on the logo of the LinkedIn logo, right?
Right, exactly. Some say
Yeah.
it's a little overused, but hey, it works.
Well, somebody was tweeting how cute it was, so I think the consensus, at least so far, is cool.
Yeah, great.
So
Use it.
we have two questions from via Twitter that I thought we could handle. One was kind of directed at us, and that is somebody, I don't remember who it was, but it doesn't matter. Somebody in attendance was asking about PowerPoints. If you go to collegerecruitingbootcamp.com, all the way at the bottom, there's a form to fill in, basically like name, email address, that kind of thing. Fill in that, and then whether you're here in attendance or whether you're watching on live stream, and we will email you as soon as the PowerPoints and the videos are ready. So you can take it back to the office. If you missed something, if you needed to go get, a Coke or something like that, then you're good. The other question, and Rob, maybe you'll have to handle this later, but somebody was tweeting asking who you are wearing. So I'm not quite sure what that was.
I'm wearing 7 jeans with a cross-stitch pattern. I'm wearing 7 jeans with a cool shirt. I think that's how you say it. I have a Walmart wife beater underneath, and Nike shoes with the little thing in there.
Well, cool. And all of that is trademarked, right?
Roger that, sir.
We have to
Yes.
be careful with that kind of, okay. So thank you so much, Tay.